James, what's up? Hi. Oh, Sunday morning. I'm good. I'm sore. My shoulder is catching up with me. How are you doing? It's good to see you. I'm working on Beyond Bop Drumming from John Riley. Cal, what's up? 46. Let's go, dude. Hi. Oh my goodness. Cheers. I got my John Deere mug. Where we at? Nothing runs like a deer or something like that, right? Actually, we don't have... That's a lie. My dad has a John Deere bulldozer from the 60s. It's pretty awesome. It's a 450, I think. A 1965 450 or something like that. So, I guess John Deere's are good. They're expensive. If anyone's ever bought a tractor before, you know John Deere's are like... They're a lot of monies for that green paint, you know. But James, it's great to see you, and Cal. I hope you're dusting it up a lot. Are you Zelda-ing? You're probably Zelda-ing. I would wager. Tears of the Kingdom. Your dad will love it. Yeah, let's go. No, I mean, now like we have a Kubota tractor and a Kubota excavator and a Bobcat skid steer, right? JB, what's up, dude? Hi. It's good to see you. You've been practicing. That's really been helping me get back up to speed. James, I'd love to know. That's why I stream, to find out what you guys are up to and talk shop. So I'd love to know. Austin, good morning. Hello. Are you all celebrated out, Austin, after the big graduation? I wish I was Alding, but you need to switch to do that. Oh, yeah. Cal, we have, I don't know if you were here, but from my kids, like, playing games, like, way too aggressively, our drift on our Switch controller is, like, insane. Like, it's insane. Like, if you just stop Zelda, he'll just, like, turn around and just start, like, going right. Just, like, wah. Like, it's so bad. It's so annoying to play. So we got to get a new controller. But they're so expensive. Controllers now are insanely expensive. And I'm like, why? We're going to spend over $150 to play Zelda, right? So it's crazy. I'm like, I might as well just buy a new Switch through Goth. I've never got to like sit down and hang out with him, but I mean, I've been watching Goth. He's the first streamer I ever watched. He's such a good dude. And I hold him in very high regard. And when I see him, I know how much Zelda, like, watching him throughout the years, that is like, to see a new Zelda game come out and just him like in pure excitement it's really fun. It's like me with microphones. I don't know how to describe it, but you can tell like you're watching someone that is just having a blast. And it's fun. It's fun for sure. Going back to the basics and practicing the great Ringo and the Beatles. Nice. There you go. I mean, I can't tell you how, if you're practicing the Beatles, you're practicing everything, right? It's like, especially after 1965 or whatever, everything they influenced so much, you know, from Led Zeppelin to Rush to Metallica. So it's interesting. There's a lot in those songs that changed song form and the way we approach just a basic song. So, yeah, that's a very smart move. And feel and all that stuff. So, I like it. That's why I was be excited. It's like, that's what it's about, right? It's not about, you know, who's the best or, you know, who's the best at video games or music or whatever. But when you can tell someone is just loving what they're doing, and enjoying life, it's fun. It's fun, right? Basic get complicated. Oh yeah, it's hard to play Ringo. That's for sure. It's hard to play Ringo well. A lot of people could play the beats, but to play it like Ringo, yeah, it's very hard. Finger, good morning. Good morning. Feels where it all started. I wouldn't say where it all started, but it's where it caught fire. The Beatles were the thing that sparked an industry of, I mean, record labels have always been around, but the Beatles showed the potential for what the music industry could be, if you want to think that as a good thing or bad thing, but how you could monetize it and sell it, right? And then the Beatles were 1,000% responsible for the uptick in interest in modern instruments like the drum set, guitar, electric bass, all that stuff. So it just, they were the ones that brought everything else up, I think. So there were many great people before them, but they were the one that, like, what was it? I was just listening to the Drum History podcast with Bart, and I think the year that, yeah, the Ringos, the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, Zildjian sold like 90-some thousand cymbals that year. Isn't that crazy? Like in 1 year. Itbug, hello. Been destiny, but enjoying playing Supremacy and Crucible. You've been enjoying it? I have my... Sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't, Cal. Sometimes I just don't want to go up against, all Titans or all Warlocks. I'm like, ugh. But Supremacy is fun. It's a different... It's interesting to get, like, the up-close and personal fighting back. I've been missing that, so yeah. But yeah, James, shoot. That's why we're all here, just hanging out. We're gonna work on up-tempo jazz again today. I got the metronome. Today we're gonna use the metronome. Yesterday we didn't. Today I'm gonna do each one twice, and we're gonna run through them. And I just showed myself, like, yeah, I got a long way to go with these, but we'll see where we are at the end of the day. Just practicing. Was it a steady, consistent beat where you keep it kick along with the fills? I wasn't using any fills. This is the book Beyond Bop Drumming by John Riley, and it's essentially to get really fast comping down, right? So it's essentially, I'm just repeating. Each one's a 4-bar phrase. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You play jazz times like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, ding, 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 ding. Right, but you'll repeat each line twice. So if you run it down, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like it just shifts, it permeates around. So the last one was, I don't know, last one I played was 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you just move around while you're playing the jazz time. So it's more of an exercise. Just moving around the kit, No, man, play along. Go for it. I'm on page 24 and 25. I'm sure it's online somewhere. But buy the book. Support John. He's a good dude and a really phenomenal player. But yesterday, I don't even remember what tempo we made it up to. I didn't go to 190 yesterday. I'm pretty sure. We didn't even play to a metronome. I probably may have approached 170, maybe, but I'm at 100 right now. So I'm just trying to like play all the exercises clearly through. Stuff is very hard, but I'm trying to approach it in a very smart way so we utilize all our time working on it and not just like playing the same thing for an hour and then going to the next one and not really retaining things. So what I've found is with trying to go fast and get this down, if I'm working, quickly, this just has to fall into place, right? It's like, we don't have time to mess around with you. Like, just do what you need to do. Does that make sense? Like, I could sit here and look at my ride technique for a year and still not be happy. So part of it's just like, just throw yourself into the fire. Like just trust that it's going to start working it out and move on. There's I wish I had all the time in the world to work on this stuff, like I said, take a year and just work on playing a ride cymbal, but that's just not it's not the way. So trying to not speed through stuff, but try to find ways to work on the ride whilst bringing in other stuff. So that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna hit play. I'll start from the top again. I'm gonna play each line twice, and essentially it's a great exercise because it's not just all on the snare. It gets you moving around the kit. So usually the first bar is the left hands are on the snare. Second bar, left hands are on the high tom. Third bar, floor tom. Fourth bar is always a rest. So it's gonna have this rest. It's gonna have that feel for all of these. Let me know if that's too loud, the metronome. It might be. It's hard to tell because it doesn't seem super loud, but then sometimes I watch back when I use a metronome and it's just like so be real. Be like, damn, that metronome is killing me. some of those, like, it just doesn't. Oh, it's so weird. Just going around the kit with consistent beat. I mean, that should be a drummer's main focus, being consistent. Yes, I mean, some of the fills and stuff we do, like they're important, but they shouldn't be the main focus. So I've talked about it a little bit, but I hurt my shoulder, right? It was probably like 2 weeks ago, maybe. At this point, time flies right here. And I thought maybe like I tore something or whatever. My wife brought something up last night. I wonder if, like, working on this stuff, it doesn't hurt me up here, but she said, like, maybe she's like does Ironman races and does triathlons and all that stuff. So she's very more athletic than me. But she was saying, like, well, she's like, is what you're doing something that, like, maybe is different? And I was like, yeah, I'm really trying this up-tempo stuff. And she said, well, are you trying to do it, differently than when you did it before? I'm like, I've actually never done this before. She's like, well, you're probably using muscles, like, not really noticing it when you're doing it, but you're probably using things that you don't normally use. And she's really right. Like, I know the difference between, like, muscles being sore because you're overworking them, and maybe muscles just, like, being worked in a way that is straining, I guess. And that's how I feel with this. Playing right now doesn't hurt at all. No pain. But tonight I'll be like, like I'll go, it stiffens up, like, at night after probably working out. Stretching will help, but I'm feeling like that's what I'm trying to pay attention when I'm doing this is, am I, like, not necessarily like lifting in with my shoulder. I do notice, like, it creeps up, right? Like, we do this. I don't know why. It's almost like, so I'm going to pay attention a little bit today to what my shoulder's really doing in the moment. So you might see me, like, drop it or let it really hang super low, because I might lower the cymbals a little bit. But Raina, what's up? How are you? I hope you're well. This is all stuff, like, it's a repetitive motion, but I'm not using my shoulder in a way that's, like, rotating, but I am, I think, using it, like, even just pulling it ahead, right? Like, if you're sitting down as a drummer and, like, you're playing a beat, you not necessarily lift your shoulder up, but you kind of, like, pull these muscles into where you're going, right? And it's interesting, like, how what that really does, in the long term. Gorman, yeah, I know Gorman. Carpal tunnel, it says drumming has really helped him heal. I bet, yeah. All that stuff, like surgeries or anything like that, the worst thing you could do is just, like, stop using it, right? Because then it really stiffens up in your range of motion. Like, the way you heal, it's harder to undo that, right? So if you want to keep stuff stretched and limber, even if it's sore, like, you still want to, like, move it to the point where you're not hurting it. But keeping things stretched is important, especially with drumming, because it's like an athletic thing. It's not nothing at all. Carpal tunnel is just that repetition of, opening and closing, and where your wrist angle is, right? If you take your arm and just allow it to be flat and open it and close it, they move very freely, right, through that passageway. People get carpal tunnel by bending their wrist and then opening and closing, and over time those ligaments and tendons just, like, get shredded by the wrist bones. That's why, like, typing on a keyboard, or people that use a mouse, or piano, a lot of piano players with bad technique, or drummers, if your technique isn't good, yeah, you'll get carpal tunnel at some point, or some strain of it. That's why really paying attention to your technique is important. Because who would have thought drumming would effective treatment? if you're doing it right, it gets a lot of blood flow there, and reduces swelling. So yeah, it definitely helps, 100%. So that's the big takeaway. If you're drumming and your wrists look like this, you're screwed. So you look back at a lot of like drummers when they're younger, they're playing like this. They're like, it's like, oh, every time you do that, you're toast. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, it'll wreck you for sure. All right, I'm going to go to 110. We'll slowly do incremental ups with this. It's going to start hitting around like probably 120, 130 of like, all right, this is tricky. Like to go from each one, I just want to get these, like I said, just the basic understanding of the exercise at slower tempos, and that's just going to make it quicker when you're going faster. it's so weirder than I would think it would be. But Josh, what's up? Hello. Oh, trying to keep up. Yeah, James, it's probably hard to keep up without looking at the thing, right? Whoo. Josh, how are you doing, Azimi? It's good to see you guys. Cheers. Cheers. We're working on going fast. We're just at 110. Oh my gosh. 180, I guess, or 170 maybe would be 160, 170 would be an awesome goal. I think I can hit 150 with this, but they're tricky. You can kind of see like it shifts. It's like they'll do like 3 snares, more kicks, but we're always moving around the kit, right? You missed it by 10 seconds. Oh no. Yeah, yesterday, it was okay, but we ended the stream, we chilled, and then we took our kids and some of the neighbors' kids to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was really good, but we kind of had. Did you ever have like a treat yourself day? We don't go to the movies a lot, so it was like, all right, everyone pick some candy. We'll all get popcorn and slushies. So the younger kids that we took, the 3 younger ones, by half of the movie were just sugar crash, like ready, just like. It was kind of cute. It was late. The movie was at 7. We didn't get out till like 10 o'clock. So they were just like, they're all like sugar coma, popcorn, slushy, It was kind of fun. But we had a good time. So sorry I missed you, but I hope you're well. Tilting Toby, hi. Toby's the name of my dog. I love that name. It's a good name. Any tips on recording at home when you have the worst room tone in the history of the universe? So, I've been there a million times. Is it a small room? Because I'll go a couple ways. If you're recording in a small room, let's start there, like with just drywall, like a bedroom. Any small area, you have to think. It depends on how you're recording. If you're trying to record a big open room sound, like just overheads and faraway mics, you're going to pick up a lot of reflections because that sound is just going like crazy. So what stops that? In a small room, fabric. Put up sheets if you have comforters. If you're recording video, obviously you want it to look right and look nice, so maybe get like something that looks good fabric-wise, like sound absorption things. If you're just recording audio, it doesn't matter. Put up mattresses, put up thick comforters, just like pin them to the wall, whatever you got to do. Even in the ceiling, like just stop sound reflection in small rooms. Or diffuse it, meaning like just put stuff in the room, like shelves, books, anything to kind of just scatter the sound so it's not as perfectly reflected. If it's just a big flat surface, those waves are just going to be like pew, pew, pew. But if there's a bunch of little things around to break it up, like the wood in here is staggered, so it's like up and down, it just breaks up the sound. So the reflections you get back aren't as like crazy. So sound absorption, so like sheets, fabric, couches, towels, comforters, all kinds of stuff. That's absorption. Pillows, if you got just a bunch of pillows around, put them in the corners, stack them up. And then there's diffusion. So, you could diffuse stuff in the room. It's a bigger room, so it's a lot of work to dampen the whole thing. Okay, so type in the word, Toby, baffles. You've probably heard that already. What I like to do, here, I'll show you. Hold on. This is a quick baffle, if I can, hold on. Do you have mic stands? Spare mic stands around? Hold on. Go get something. Why am I unplugging that? I need to unplug my headphones. Let me show you a trick. So mic stand. Right? put it my kid's Lego. So you have a mic stand, right? Typical mic stand. Put it in the middle. You can do this with one blanket, one comforter. You can put like I said, 1,000,000 comfortables or comforters, not comfortables. You could pin them. That's what I do. And then you can put them around the drums. It's quick fix. So watch. You might be able to tell. I'll try to bring it in over here. Actually, you probably won't be able to tell. Because I'm using, if I put it up front, it might. But baffling is, I mean, you could surround your drum set with it, right? If it's just recording. So, like, you could imagine, though, if you really thicken this up, like just a bunch of comforters, towels, and put them all around the kit, like, it does stuff, you know? It's not going to, like, make it super, super tight, but it's going to stop those reflections from coming back into the microphones, and it'll absorb some of that energy. And, of course, the thicker it is, the better, right? And, I mean, you can go make baffles. You can go out and build your own. And obviously they'll work a little better, but they're big. And, you know, unless you're in a big studio, you don't want these huge baffles hanging around all over the place. So, quick fix. And, like, you can even stack two up and make, like, I've seen people do that, like, make a little fort over the drum set with them. So, I hope that helps. I swear I was about to use hammer nails to hang out for. I mean, you could do that. I have them here. There's some of those absorption blankets, like Audimute. Toby, you should check out that company. Audimute. Audimute. I think maybe I'm saying that right. Mitch, he's the owner. He's a sweetheart. But they sell these sound absorption blankets. They look like moving blankets, but they are thick. They're way thicker. And they got that like insulation inside. They have these they have grommets. So I have hooks around here. So if I need to really deaden it, I just hang them from hooks instead of nails, you know. But yeah, it all depends. But that's the quickest thing. If you want to just quickly make a room sound better, just do that. Depends on how you're miking it though too, right? So if you're using a lot of like far away mics, yeah, that's gonna tighten the sound up quite a bit. Because reflections suck. If you don't want them, I'll put this over here. Anything with wheels, right? If you do build baffles, put them on wheels, you know, and make them so. Don't make them too crazy. I was like 3 feet. I think 3 feet by, like what's a good, 3 feet by 4 feet, something like that, or even 3 by 5, and then you can stack them. You know, like build them so you can like treat them like Legos. Because some people make baffles like just so big, and it's like God. Sometimes you only want like half of the drum set to be kind of chill, and you don't want everything to just be like these massive columns. So, is full of wires. Well, same. Get the big wheels. I'm talking like, you know, the big ones. And if it's a baffle that isn't too, if you're just using like pine 2x4s or something, it won't be that heavy. So yeah, the big wheels though, like the bigger the wheels, the easier it goes over wires. If you're using like little like weenie wheels, yeah, you're gonna be like oh, but the big ones go right over it. So think like road cases, some car wheels. Put some dubs on there, man. Yeah, with spinners. But you gotta think like those big road cases. I mean, they'll go over all kinds of stuff. I've actually seen some people use like old road cases for like guitar cabs as baffles. It's neat. You can get creative with it. They don't have to be these picture perfect things. So anything to just stop reflections. That's all you need. You could take old mattresses, just go to like Target, get a black sheet, the black whatever, staple them so it just looks like a black cube, and then just put wood around it. I've seen that. It works. There's all kinds of stuff you could do if you get creative. Josh, I got a new mix. Let me know what you think. Different compression signal chain. I'm actually using the 76s. One's on the snare, one's on the kick. Everything is going through the G bus. A little bit of EQ on the snare with that Pultec that we have, that 500 series Pultec, and then just the stereo EQ that we usually do, but that's it. Yeah, the snare sounds really good. And I'm in nuke mode on the kick and the snare, so it's all buttons in. For your tips, I already noticed that I gradually improved my own technique after this practice. Oh, let's go. James, it's all about the work, right? So yeah, we're getting there, Josh. I'm fine tuning all this stuff, but it feels good. Feels good. All right, we're gonna try 120. Getting scarier. These tempos, honestly, 120 is the threshold for me. I don't know what it is. About 120 to 140. It's as you get faster with these, the swing feel turns into just a straight eighth. So it goes from like being 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and da da da, right? To just like 1, 2, and 3, 1, da 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 da. 1, 2, and 3, what that, right? It's just one, like a galloping horse. What's that called? That song. Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, bum. Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, bum. And they wrote some bops back in the day. You want to talk about like real long-standing songs? That song's it's gonna be around forever, right? All right, 120. Getting there. Yeah, happy Merms Day. The Merms. I forget what I'm shutting off and turning on. Happy birthday to all the Merms. It's all the moms' birthdays. Yeah, my boys have a service company, they call it. They call it Watermelon Service. You want to shock? Here goes the grandpa. They call it Watermelon Service, where they wake up before us and they clean and they make coffee and breakfast, like eggs, stuff. And we were up late last night, right? We went to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and they were all sugar crashed. By the time they got to bed, it was like 10:30, 11, which is, it's late for them, right? Our kids don't stay up that late. So they were all like, ugh. You can tell when like they're tired when it's like bedtime. Usually they fight us, right? They're like, no, I don't want to go to bed. No. They were like, ugh. Like they were so out after eating candy and Slurpees or whatever at the movie theater, popcorn, being up late, all the energy with their friends. They just they passed out. So we were like, sleep in. It's Mother's Day. And they were like, okay. They were up at 6 o'clock to do Watermelon Service, which is cute, right? They got up to clean for their mom and do all the stuff. But we all know that they are going to be complete monsters later on today. Like, they're going to be the worst kids ever. Because they didn't sleep. They're just sugar crashing. But yeah, they call it Watermelon Service. But you know what? They charged me for it today. They're like, Dad, you owe us $15 for Watermelon Service for Mother's Day. I was like, wait, what? They give me the bill for Watermelon Service. Whenever they do it from time to time. They'll surprise us and do Watermelon Service. We wake up and we're like, oh my gosh, coffee's in there. We're quiet. They take the dog out. And now they're all like, my son this morning was like, you owe us $15. I was like, wait, what? No, I don't. My kid liked to take the mom out for breakfast. He said, I'll pay for it also from my money. It'll be worth it not to have to cook and clean. Oh, that's so nice. Kids are good. Kids are good at heart, right? But then they're also business people. At least my oldest is. He was like, how can we get some money out of Dad? Oh yeah, guys, let's make coffee and stuff. What do they do on Father's Day? Nothing. They just do nothing and give me a bill still, right? They're like, oh, it's Father's Day, you owe us $15. For what? For Father's Day. James, you're always more than welcome to. You're always more than welcome to. That's why I do this. I like to share it with people, and if you want to practice along, that's amazing. But everyone streams different stuff. I totally get it. But the thing that brings me the most joy with streaming is this, like just talking about it. It's like a drum lesson, I love like getting drum lessons from people, giving drum lessons, and where it's a lot of communication back and forth. And that's how I want this to feel, like a drum shop hang or a good, just chilled, drum lesson. So yeah, you're more than welcome to. Shocker, yeah. So yeah, I think we should trademark Watermelon Service, right? Legit, my boys, they want to work. It's cool. Like our neighbor is hiring them to spread mulch because him and his wife had back surgery, both of them over like the last year and a half, and they're doing great. But it's like they can't like do spread mulch and stuff. They're older. They're retired. So he messaged me like, "Hey, would your boys mind helping?" And I was like, "Yeah, they'd love that. You don't have to pay them." And he's like, "Well, we'll pay them." So they're all about it right now. Like, when are we gonna go do mulch? And then my oldest is like, "I can mow lawns. I could do weed whacking." I'm like, "Yeah, go for it. You gotta buy a lawnmower though." He's like, "Well, I'll just use yours." I'm like, "Well, wait, what?" So I'm trying to teach them, like, yeah, you can make money. You could work and you could do stuff, but the money that you do get, if you're running your own business or doing something like that, you have expenses and stuff. So trying to teach them all that, but yeah, they're all about making money right now. It's cute because they're like, if we do this, will you give us money? I'm like, what? No, just clean your room. What do we get? Do we get $1? I'm like, no, it's your room, my house. Go clean. So yeah. Is it normal to get some from the last routine? What do you mean, James? Oh, pain? Burning? If you're not... James, this up-tempo jazz stuff isn't like good beginner stuff. I'll tell you that much. This isn't something you should be working on if certain techniques aren't up to speed, because you're instead of using the right muscles, you might be using the wrong ones. And if you're getting pain, like stiffness or burning, here is okay. Here's good burning. Here is good burning, like this muscle or this muscle. But if you're getting pain like up here, that's bad, because you shouldn't be using your shoulders at all for this, or in your triceps, anywhere around here, or if your elbows hurt, that's very bad. Pain here, in particular, here with these really fast tempos, because if you squeeze, everyone can try this where you are. If you take, I let go of the stick. If you take something and squeeze it, right, like with these two fingers, if you squeeze it, you'll notice like here, right, get my guns out. You can see like where the muscles that you're using, they're mainly here, right? So, and a little bit up here, like here. So those are the main grip muscles. Like when you make a fist, your whole arm does something, but just the fulcrum grip, it's right here. It's a very subtle thing. This is all you need, right? When we're playing really, really fast. So if like your whole arm is on fire, well, what's up? Hi. It's good to see you. I saw you did a show, right? Recently? That was exciting to see, dude. Hold on. Buttons. So yeah, if you have pain, like if like your legs are killing you up here when you're playing jazz, like something's wrong. Or, you should really take a look at what you're playing, and if you're using the right muscles to play that, more in your right wrist. If it's in your wrist, that's very bad. That means you're very tense and you're putting strain on. There's no muscles in your wrist. So you're having, that's just putting strain on all the bones and the connections in there. So you shouldn't have wrist pain. If anyone's wrists ever hurt from playing drums or guitar or anything like that, you're doing something very, very, very wrong. That could cause insane damage. Your wrists are just kind of like a conduit, right? They should just be kind of transferring energy, not the source of it, right? And a lot of people, when you're playing fast, you stiffen up that wrist. So when you hit, you're trying to not let your wrist come back, right? So not letting it come back really puts strain on it, like being in a car accident over and over and over and over and over again. So it's not good. So you don't want wrist pain. So these are very fast tempos. So if you are hurting, don't try to play along at these tempos without making sure your technique is very loose first, right? Just to be safe. But we've all been there, right? In high school, I was in a punk band, right? A punk band when I was 15. And of course, you have drummers like Travis Barker, or back in the day, it was like Offspring, Phoenix TX, NoFX, all those bands. And you want to play fast, right? You want to just play like blazing fast, right? Or like the early, like Dude Ranch. I remember my guitar player's like, yeah, we're going to play Damn It. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard the drums and I was like, I can't play that. There's no way I can play that fast. And he's like, yeah, just do it. And I was like, oh my God. So, drummers do like, You know, we're playing, all tense or like, but you got to be just very relaxed. So, yeah, tension is the worst thing you can do. But we're going to go, so we're at 120 right now. We're going to go to 130. Now, this is going to be that threshold from going swung triplets, right, to really trying to hold on to that ding, 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 to just da 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 da. We're going to go, it's basically eighth notes, right? There's no way physically to feel that skip beat in that triplet shuffle feel or the jazz ride patterns at very fast tempos. Like, it's almost indistinguishable because as you get faster, those notes get closer and that space that really sets the feel just gets narrowed. So it's more like finding a needle in a haystack as you get faster to hear it. So we're going to be straightening these up. We're doing Beyond Bop Drumming, pages 24, 25, working on up-tempo comping. So this is a very weak spot for me. So it's very hard, especially as we get to the second page. Man, is it hard. I got to take a minute sometimes and really think about what I'm playing because my right foot will want to sneak in there in the wrong spot or my left hand will want to play longer. It's just, the brain, right? The brain has its own agenda. Sometimes it's good, right? You just want to let it go, let it do its thing. But when you're really trying to rein it in for practice, you're fighting yourself, really. Where is it? 130. 130. Telling you, this is so weird. It's just you're learning the balance of it all, right? It's so crazy, so nuts. It's these broken up over the bar line ones that are gonna give me such an issue. So like this one, it's basically playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Wait. But like it's like adding in that all that stuff at 130. It's not even fast. Oh, it's so hard. These are really hard, these over the bar line ones. Had to call Mom! Mom! Cal, were you like, Mom? We're going to go to my mom's this afternoon. It ruined her Mother's Day. Right? Mom was for dinner. No, moms are the best. Yeah, everyone call your mom today. Seriously. Call your mom. Call your grandma. Call all your mom friends or text them. All the things. There's, as a parent, I mean, I love my kids and they know I love them. But there's a big difference between a mother's love and a father's love. It's completely different. We all know it. Not that our dads don't care or our dads don't love us, but they love us in a different way, right? Our moms are way more protective, nurturing, caring, softer kind of love. And moms are deserving of a day. Dads, right? We catch them if they fall sometimes, right? My localized home from exercise class. Wait, what? Your localized merm until stretch in, waking up. It's so odd that Mother's Day is in the U.S. It's different day. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I wonder why. That is weird. Well, I guess it technically shouldn't be. Yeah, it should be. It's every. In all honesty, every day should be Mother's Day. For real, moms are. I mean, think about it. Think of how good your mom is. For real. Should be calling our moms like every hour. Just be like, thank you for making me, for growing me. That was awesome. Remember that time you like grew me? Like for real. That's so wild. You know? And like dealt with me for years when I was like pooping my pants all the time and crying and screaming and being a terrible person. Thank you for not murdering me, Mom. Had to move it around. All the other ones, yeah, maybe. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of holidays. Some are just so BS and bogus. Like, you know, it's like oldest sibling day. It's like, well, shut up, whatever. Like, no one cares. I do feel like people get so hung up on these holidays. You know, like I don't know. There's, you know, the people. I shouldn't be mean, but like when you're a kid, I get it. It's like a birthday is a big deal and all that, and we talk about this all the time. But like the people that are like stop everything and because it's my birthday kind of people, it's like get over it. You know, or I don't know. I have met people that expect the world to stop on certain things for them. And I get it. Maybe when you're little, you know, like, yeah, you're 4. It's your birthday. It's awesome. Yeah. But when you're like 30 or 40 and you're like, it's my birthday. What are we doing? What are you doing for me? It's like, nothing. You're 40. You're a grown person. No one cares. I don't know. That's me being old and grumpy, though. Other holidays, yeah. Well, oh yeah, James, take it easy. Certain holidays though, I'm all about. Mother's Day is definitely one of those. But like Uncle's Day or whatever, it's like no one cares about Uncle's Day. I'd stop the world. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's I don't want to say like it's the spoiled, like kids that were spoiled or whatever as they were growing up, or like the parents that like, like still, I don't want to say enable that stuff, like when they're like in their 20s, like, it's your birthday, let's do something amazing for the whole day, it's your day. It's like, oh my gosh, like get over it. Like the people that like continue those traditions into adulthood, and then those people are older and they're just annoying, right? It's like, what do we do for my birthday? It's like, nothing. No one cares. Oh, no, that's a holiday. Get behind it. Yeah. I'm an uncle and I wouldn't give it. Yeah, right? Like, who cares? I agree, Cal. I agree. But that was because our dad wasn't around so much. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't around much. So, No, like, I think it's cool. I get it. Certain things you want to celebrate, but some people just take it to this level where it's, I don't know. It's like, get over it. Get over it. There's more important things happening in the world, right? That need your attention. Like Uptempo Jazz. All right. I'm debating whether to. I'm trying to do today. I said I do this with a metronome to really find out limits, and I'm finding 130 for some of these over the bar line things is very tricky, and it's not like I can't play them, but it's that lateral movement. So I'm gonna try something. Maybe as we get into some of these, I'll take away the ride skip beat, just because it's hard. It really is. Certain things at certain tempos are just not going to be possible. The earlier things like the single hits and some of the doubles are totally doable at higher tempos. But you get into some of these, like every quarter note different place on the drum set, bop, 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 we're moving around. And especially some of the over the bar line stuff. My brain isn't caught up yet to it. So we'll get there. I'm doing this today with the metronome to make some notes. Like, all right, where are my limits? Where does stuff fall apart? I can hang at 120 through these. I have to stop and think about them a little bit. But at 130, I start to just curl up into the kit. Like, I'm in attack mode, like just trying to get it out. And I need to stay relaxed. So we'll keep going, but I'm trying to make, like just little notes of like, all right, where, and then we can refocus, So I might switch to certain things. I won't be doing the ride. Might do like just straight quarter notes through it, just to get used to that. Not this. I know this can hang, but it's this movement, like my left hand moving around the kit. I know that sounds silly, but like even when I do it here, you'll notice like my right hand wants to go, but there's still one hit. So I'm like, get back one more, and then you go. Right? Like just learning those motions, and it's like, a dog that wants to go outside and it's by the door, like, come on, let's go. It's like I get antsy with this left hand. Like really, it's an unsure thing. Like, are we here? Where are we? Where are we going? So just repetition. Certain things I'm going to just play as straight quarters. Just to really make sure I nail the placement and the feel and get used to those motor skills around the kit. So I'm going to go fourth bar from the bottom on page 25. So 4 more to go. It's not. It's bad, but it's not clear. It's not precise. There's a big difference in like the feel of just quarter notes, that light, loose ride feel, to this when I bring in the skip beat. It's like the tension. The tension, guys. Tension is real. This is very hard. It's so hard. Oh, all right. Last one. I shouldn't say 130. I could do that. That's where it starts getting tricky. I can do it though. I'm gonna make a little note. It's doable. That's the thing. It's doable. I can do it. I can't tell myself like, oh, I suck at that. I can't do it. I could do this. So I'm gonna put up here little tempo markings. All right, 130, 130 is where stuff starts to go awry for those. Let's go to 140. Let's just see what happens. 130. This is gonna be definitely more straight. Forty is rough. Really rough. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm like, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Pee. Pee time. Sorry, guys. Be right back. Sapper, what's up? Hi. Have you beat Zelda? Has anyone beat Zelda yet? Do we know? I actually don't know. Someone's probably beaten it by now, right? Have to. Someone has to have beaten it. I would imagine. Sapper probably has. So I went up. The kids are at church. Toby is, well, I don't want the cameras. Toby's just chilling. Usually he gets up and he's like, you know, he's all excited. I just went up and he was like, ugh. He couldn't even be bothered. A speedrunner did it in about 90 minutes? Wait, Bach, the first go around? Or no? Can't be the first playthrough, right? That's crazy. Hi, Bach. It's good to see you and Zapper. Cheers. That's wild. Very impressive. Are they just like speed run through like Breath of the Wild so much they're just like gods at it? Tea time directly contributed to the concept of pee time. Dude, yeah, I had a big old slushie last night, and I made well, the boys made coffee this morning. We got up early because of the boys. I drank all their coffee, and then I made coffee before here. So I've had a lot of coffee so far. We saw a tweet about it. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't have the patience. I respect it, but I would go insane, like speed running. If that was like, I couldn't do it. I get really bored just playing like the same level more than like once. But to be like, how can I do this the quickest, most efficient way? I couldn't do it. It's definitely not in me, you know? Not at all. But to each their own, right? Someone might be watching me going like, oh my God, what a wacko. I go insane down there trying to go faster, going ting, ding, 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 ding. So thank God there's people that are interested in certain things. Because I do enjoy watching speedrunners. I really do. Me and the boys will, you know, we don't watch shows just because there's no good shows on. But me and the kids will put on YouTube, and they like Lego videos and Minecraft videos and stuff, and I get it. But sometimes I'll be like, hey, you want to watch some speedrunning stuff? And they're like, what? And I'll show them like, you know, like how to beat Mario in like 5 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, there's like, you know, there's such a cool thing about watching them watch someone. You know, it's like watching Michael Jordan play basketball, you know? You're like, oh my gosh, like you just think every little jump they're going to die or something, but they just have it down so good. It's so impressive. Just finding ways to make, yeah, that's a good, yeah, you're right, Bach, you're right. All the shiny things in chests. Dude, oh my gosh. I'm that person too. There was that meme going around the other day where it was like something about like the main objective and like me doing all the side quests or whatever. I can't describe it. I'm butchering it so bad, but it was going around like the last week or two. I saw a couple people post it, but I was like, hey, that's me. You know, like the main objective is like way over here, and I'm like, what is this pot doing over here? What, you need some flowers? I'll go get you some flowers. You need 100 of them? Well, it's a lot, but I got you. Oh, I can only get them from this cave where that's way far away with a spider in it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go do that. Dude, exactly what you're talking about. Piece of candy. Exactly. No, I'm definitely a completionist. OCD, 100%. I think what started that was Final Fantasy games for me. Final Fantasy was kind of like and Zelda, like the Super Nintendo Zelda. I'm like, I gotta do all the things. I gotta get the stuff. You know, I never got into Pokemon. I was a little too old when that came out. I was like, Pokemon's lame. But I totally get it. We have a problem. We really do. I'm that way with like drum stuff, or it's like, oh, I need it. I need all the things. But do we really? Yeah, probably the answer is yeah, 100%. Do we need to find all the things in a video game? I do. Someone spent time and effort into putting it in there. I should respect their time and find it, right? Gotta finish everything. Yeah, I'm that way. 100%. With Mr. Tutti Frutti. It's good to see you. It's Sunday, guys. Cheers. We're working on going faster. I know this isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but hopefully you're enjoying your stay. If anyone has any questions, it's fun to talk about this stuff or to think about it. But last night, when we got home from the movies, it's a lot. We took out 6 kids and me and my wife, and it was a lot of fun. But it's a lot of work too, right? And we were sitting on the couch. One of my friends right now is leaving for a tour, a big tour actually, for a while, and we were talking about my shoulder and stuff, and she's like, it hurts. Do you want a tour? Like she'll ask me from time to time because she knows I get asked a lot, and I'm like, no, I still don't have a desire to go do that. I like being home, here on the couch. And I was telling her, I'm like, when the kids are older, that's the play, is to get back, to doing, more live shows. And because I think it was like some people feel guilt. Oh, I know what it was. Someone I know is a parent, they're trying to get their music career just going, and they want to be a good parent. It's hard, right? It's a lot of like back and forth. But I was telling her, I'm like, I'm working on this stuff. There's like a 10-year kind of plan. By the time the kids are older, like this is the kind of stuff, these are the kind of gigs I'm going to want. I'm not going to want to do a dumb rock gig. Sorry. I shouldn't say dumb, but the last thing I'm going to want to do in my 50s is to be like, like, come on, rock and roll. Like that's just so weird. I'm going to want the gigs that are just, I don't know, more me. So working on this stuff, it's long term. Like I'm thinking 10 years right now. And this is the foundation of where I want to be as a player for that. So working on this stuff, it is slow go. It is very boring. But you know how they say, like, you put 10,000 hours into something, and, that's just like the beginning of where you should be if you want to make it a profession. I kind of reset the clock. I'm at like hour, 200 in my opinion of this stuff. Like I'm treating it like it's a whole new world. So it is slow go, it is boring, but there's a lot of stuff packed in here that it's fun to unpack with you guys. So I appreciate you being here. Cheers. Cheers. Do I need all the things? Yes. Is it necessary? No. But also, it is. It's necessary, right? It's definitely necessary. That's why I'm kind of avoiding Sapper, why I'm avoiding Elden Ring right now. I know once I start playing it, I'm going to just be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Cal, yeah. Does anyone have 10,000 hours in Destiny? I mean, probably, right? Probably. Someone has to. I think I've got probably 3,000 hours. 3,000 if you include D1 and all that. I played Destiny a lot when the kids were like babies. Now I'm just old and I want to go to bed. I have more time to play, but I'm just so old now. Like, oh man, I could do a raid. I'm like, oh, but I could also go to bed. So it's, yeah. But I'm enjoying Destiny right now, to be honest. I still haven't bought Lightfall. I missed the sale at Christmas, and I'm so cheap. Like, I'm not gonna pay $100 to play this game right now. You know? Oh, don't be scared. I'll tell you what, Cal. Think of all the friendships. Think of all the good times. You know, don't feel guilty about playing a video game. It's so, like, whatever, stigmatized, I think. But there's so many good things that have come from video games for me and playing games. Friends and just, yeah, I'd rather you be doing that than, like, going to a bar every night and getting, like, hammered. You know? It's like there's your brain, the activity that your brain is doing when you're playing a game compared to something else, it's pretty awesome. Like your mental, like, cognitivity or whatever, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? And Destiny is a very communal game, you know. Met a lot of great people because of that, and I'm on here because of a video game, so it's cool. I say look at them hours. I would say I have to be at probably, see, I want to say 3,000, but it's probably still 2,000 something between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. But I love that game. It's a good thing. Yeah, tongue in cheek. All right, so we did 140. We're gonna go to 150. I had a pee, had a little stretching, little break, right? Wipe the slate. Telling you, 150 is where it's gonna fall apart. Really quick. Sapper, I don't know if Sapper's still here, Cal. I So my friends are way Zelda nerds too. Like we all grew up playing it, so we were texting about the game. And Saturday morning, I texted them. I was like, "If you plebs haven't beat this game yet, delete my number." They texted back, so I assume they beat it. Maybe they're the speedrunners. King, what's up? It's hard. Oh, top of the next page. This is probably where we're gonna have to go straight quarters. I don't think I could do this with the skip beat. We did that one, but it's gonna get crazy. Over the bar. I can do it. I can do it. Cal, is there a site that adds up like your D1 and D2? See, oh man, I went to like, I have a D2 or D1 account. I played D2 on PlayStation, and then I had created a D2 Steam, and then I merged them. I don't know. What does the want to do? Nudge High. It's Destiny. Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. So it's a video game. What do you call it? The Bungie game? Yeah. You're like, what is this? I'm so sorry. It could be like Diablo or Diablo 2, whatever. But no, yeah. Destiny 2. And Destiny. D1 and D2. So that's what people usually refer to it as. But there's got to be a site, right, that adds them all up, or how you've created different characters. Because I've created a bunch of different characters throughout the years. So kids are home. I hear thumping. What time is it? It's noon already? Oh my gosh. I gotta get to work. I was like drummer 1 or drums. Right on, yeah. Could be. Could be. But I hope you're well. They're probably, hopefully they were good at church. If they weren't good at church, we're not going to have a fun afternoon. I hear yelling, so they're probably hungry. I was like, it's Mother's Day. You better be angels. And they're like, okay. They're probably the worst. My wife says every time I tell them that, they're terrible. So they were probably awful. All right. So we're at 150. I'm trying to stay relaxed, trying to like clear my head when I do this. It actually, it works, right? Just taking the time to really slow down and think about what you're playing. I got time pulling up your Bungie ID. If you could, Cal, I'd love to. Destiny, it's always been Dan Drumstone. And then I don't know if the Steam ID is different. It shouldn't be. But oh, Josh, thank you. Is the click, really quick before you go, Josh, is the click too loud? Let me know. But not too loud. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want it to be like consuming. You still have requests? I don't. I haven't done those in going on a year. In June, I stopped doing requests. I just didn't enjoy it anymore. It's fun to like play songs every now and then, but it's just not me, you know? The real me. The business side and the working aspect of it, like I totally get. But when I really stopped and thought about it, I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. So I stopped it. It is fun from time to time maybe, but yeah, all our random garbage. Well, it's kind of like some days you're in the mood for something, and then yeah, you'd have to play something else. And it's not that it's bad or garbage. Some of it I questioned, like, do you really listen to this stuff? But a lot of it some days you're just not in the mood for stuff, you know. And it's like, why force that? Why turn this into? I started this to play, you know, what I wanted to play. And when you start to get away from that, it's just like you start to be like, ugh. So I want to avoid that feeling. And so we started learning jazz last summer. I really kind of deep dove into it. And that's what we've been doing on the channel, just practicing, getting better. And it's been really fun. I like seeing you just wing a random song I tried for weeks. It is fun. Part of it was a physical thing too. And we were talking about this the other day. When you do certain songs without knowing them, it's really bad for your body. Like just the constant, like you never know what's next. So you're in this constant state of like tension and like prepared for the worst, I guess. And I would end stream after doing that for hours, and it was like, man, I'm like wrecked. You know, I could play a 5 hour set. Like if it's something I know and I'm practiced, I could do like a 8 hour set, whatever. Like it doesn't physically, it's not a thing. But doing 3-4 hours of songs that you don't, that maybe you've never heard before or you've never really done it, it's exhausting. Like it's a mental thing. You're just like wiped, you're drained. And I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. I'm wasting my energy on stuff that really does. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it's like, this doesn't matter, in my opinion. So as fun as it was, and as good as it is for business, right? It's not, I just saw this thing. Some smart person somewhere was being interviewed by Mike Tyson, of all people. And he was saying, he's like, there was this bull and a bird, and the bull said, hey, the bird said, I can't fly anymore, or something. I'm going to butcher this so bad. But he said, the bird's like, I can't fly anymore. And the bull's like, you know what will get you higher, you know how you can fly again, is just eat my crap. And the bird was like, what? And he's like, yeah, just eat my crap, and you'll fly again. You'll get where you want to be. So the bird starts eating his crap and can fly, and he's up in the tree again. And I already forgot what it was, but the moral of the story is bullshit will get you maybe somewhere, but it won't keep you there. Forget what happened to the bird. He like fell out of the tree or something. So, not saying that the song request thing is bull, but it's low hanging fruit. It's a quick thing, and it's not sustainable. So, motivational crap speech. Yeah. It's somewhere on the internet, and it's so poetic and beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, this is bull. So my point is, if I'm going to put energy into this, I want it to be like something real, something that matters for me as a player. You know what I mean, So it's really easy to get, make a living out of this instrument the wrong way, I guess, or a way that's like a quick burning flame. But the reality of it is, if you want to make this a career, a lot of people use this instrument as a stepping stone, for something else. But I don't want to do that. I want it to be, I would like to be 60 or 70 and still, treating this with respect that it deserves. Here we have a Red Bull. It gives you face. Oh, wait, you looked? So for D1, you're at 1.5 active hours and about 1.3K inactive. Oh, like in orbit and stuff. Wow. So I haven't played D2 a lot at all. It's so sad. Here. Yeah, I read that. I thought I would have more in D2, but that's wild. Yeah. I got to catch up. If you do stuff you don't generally like, you're never able to keep doing it without burning down. Yeah, and you don't grow. That was the other thing, is playing songs that I don't know. Yeah, like I could use the skills I've learned to just like get through them and make it entertaining, but I'm not growing as a player. You're not like getting better doing that stuff, A week or two ago, that was real fun. Yeah, Dark. Yeah, that was fun. The recording session, that was fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like playing along to music is great for a certain point. And once you get what you need out of it, you gotta move on to something else, It's just like playing other people's music. It's like tracing pictures, right? Like at first it's fun, right? You're like, oh, I traced Spider-Man, awesome. And then maybe you'll trace a dinosaur and you're like, awesome. But if you don't like try to create your own dinosaur or your own version of that, or just your own thing in general, tracing gets real old and it becomes a mind a mindless task. Like you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it. And playing along to drummers that play along to music, and that's all they do. And they do covers, and they might throw in like a cool fill or spice up a verse or whatever. That's cool, but it's not like, again, it's like you just decorated something someone else made, you know? So it's not truly creative in a sense of like it's you from the ground up. There's a little part of you in it, but it's not fully you. You know? So, but I'll say this, I'm an old grump. So, do what you want. Love that room compressor, or the talking mic compressor. But all right, so we're at 150. I'm dreading this. This stuff hurts my brain. And tension creeps in. It's not a matter of like it slowly creeps in, but right now I'm trying to play stuff. It's like instant like lock, and I hate that feeling. But I love it because I'm trying to avoid it. So I'm like actively trying not to tense up. So it's getting there. I didn't say we'd be able to do this a minute ago, and we did the first line. The last couple ones are going to be tricky though. So 150. I shouldn't be doing this fast. It's not going to happen. Or at least this second page. I could play like quarter notes. That's way too tense. I'm happy though. Like around 130, 140 is where it starts to get tricky, but pushing this right now is not a good idea. I'm not ready. Mindfulness exercise where you intentionally tense up your body for a few seconds to then be able to relax again. Interesting. That'd be very cool. Vegan, if you could, is there a way you could like DM me that? I'd love to check that out. Or if there's a video of it or article. No, I mean, that's the whole thing about like drumming is, yeah, the tension creeps in and it's like how to be mindful of it creeping in so you can quickly get rid of it. I'd love that. Because every drummer has it, right? Certain things just bring about a lot of tension, and that's the bane of your drumming, right? Is tension just limits you so many different ways. I'd love to check that out. I'm gonna go to 150. I'm gonna do page 1 again. So we go. I don't even probably need to look at the paper. We go 1 singles, and then single kick. And then kick, snare, kick. Right? Yeah. I don't need to look at the paper. Let's try it. 150. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try a different ride just to see. Muscle, what's up, muscle? What emote is that? I like that. What is that? Is that a minion? I like it. I like that emote. It looks like an emote. Or a very good, Dan. It looks like an emote. Very good. It looks like a minion. Alright, hold on. Let's try. Let's try this. Oh, my shoulder. Ah! Hurts. Snap. Field trip. It was good. We were just talking about that. It was good, dude. So we took, 6 kids. 6 kids to the movies. That was fun. So the movie started at 7. We got there at 6:30. We got good seats all the way in the back. And so all right, Muscle, you'll appreciate this. OG, hi. How many cameras do you have? How do they switch automatically? So I have 4 cameras. This one, this one, this one, and then this one. And I use a Stream Deck in the delay function. So you do a multi-action, and then within that multi-action, you do scene, delay, scene, delay. You just hit a button. It's like an automatic macro thing. But it's with Stream Elements. Or not Stream Elements. Stream Deck. Elgato Stream Deck. I did not, Muscle. I did not. It was fun. We had a good time. It was funny, though. The boys, I said they could each take $5 to get their own candy, right? And we get to the theater. We get the tickets. 6 kids. We took the neighbors' kids. They're great kids. And they're all excited. And we go up. We go up to pay. Yeah, Guardians. We saw Guardians 3. And there's like, this kid's like 16, working at the counter at the local movie theater. And right away, the kids just saw like a play at school, right? Remember when you were a kid and like you would see like the school play, whatever it is, like they would have all the grades come down. Yeah, you saw it Friday. It was good. It's a good movie. But right away, the kid working at the counter at the movie theater, all the kids are like, "You were in the play," and he's like, okay, whatever. This poor kid. He's like 15, 16. Clearly was like, ugh, And so they all show up with their money, and they're grabbing candy from the rack, and they're all like, "I want a blue slushie. I want red. Oh, no, I want red. No, I want blue." And they're all like going nuts, and they're like, "We want popcorn. No, no, no." And they're all like 6 kids all at once, right? And there's people behind us, and I'm like, this isn't going to work. Like, if they all spend their money individually, we're going to be here until Monday, right? This poor kid's just like, "I just want to go home. This sucks." So the fiasco was over. I'm like, "Guys, keep your money. Well, I'll just pay for everything. I love you. Everyone be good for the movie. Happy movie day, whatever." My treat. Just because this kid was clearly like, didn't know what to do. He's like, he's looking at the little pointer thing. He's like, "All right, so you want like red?" And he's like, And they're all the kids are excited. So we load them up with candy and slushies and soda and popcorn. And of course, there's one of the slushies right in the theater. I dropped a bag of popcorn trying to like help another kid. It was typical. It was the typical chaotic experience, but fun, if that makes any sense. And we enjoyed the movie. Probably 30 minutes into the movie, my youngest was, it's by the time like trailers and all that, it's like 8 o'clock, and he just ate like a box of dots, a slushie, half a bag of popcorn. So it's like 8:30, and he's just like starting to fade. He stayed up though. He watched it, but you could tell like it was all hitting. And they all had a great time, but they were tired. So by the time we didn't get home, it was a long movie. We didn't get home till like 10:30, 11, something like that. So yeah, it was a good night. We had a fun time. But it's definitely easier when it's just yourself at the movie theater. I'll tell you that much. Because they're all like, I want a refill. I have to go to the bathroom. And you're like, the movie's on. Yeah, I'm the guy. I didn't spill it, but my kid did. Yeah, totally me. We cleaned it up ourselves though. We went out and got like napkins and stuff. So we're not the people that just like absolutely trash the movie theater and leave. If you do that, you're some kind of people that is just the worst. You know, like there's popcorn everywhere. They leave all their trash in the things. It's like, clean up after yourself. Seriously. Like, don't be that person. But yeah, we tried to clean it up the best we could. But we live in a very small town. Our neighbor works at the movie theater. So like we know everyone, like we knew half of the people in there, you know, like all the kids' teachers are there and they're like, oh my God, Mrs. Blah, blah, blah. And like the teacher's like, oh my God. Our neighbors were there, like everyone's there. So it was fun. We had a good time. It was a fun night. So yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the movie though, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I still think number 2 was really good in the first one, but the third one ties it up. It does a cool job of putting stuff together. So it was a little intense though. My gosh. It's a little dark compared to the other ones. We were kind of like with the young one. Some of the scenes you're like, oh my gosh, this is a little intense. This isn't Iron Man, you know? But we enjoyed it. We had a good time. I still haven't seen Ant-Man, but that comes out on Disney Plus this week. I think on Monday or Tuesday, something like that. So we'll watch that too. Ugh. Let's see how this symbol is at these tempos. This is a 22-inch. Oh, the piano's starting up upstairs. So this one is a 22-inch Foundry Reserve. And it weighs like 2,000 some grams. So it's pretty heavy. But we'll see. We'll see. But the boys... Oh, muscle. I didn't tell you the next part. So the boys, we told them sleep in, right? It's like 11 o'clock. They're going to bed, like just sugar crashing. They're all like, ugh, when they're going to sleep. They're like, I'm not tired. Right? They're like drooling all over themselves. We're like, sleep in. And I love them for doing this, but also hate them. They woke up at 6 o'clock to clean and make coffee for mom and do all the mom's day stuff. But they're gonna be awful kids this afternoon. They're all gonna be tired grumps, you know. But they woke up, they cleaned all downstairs, they made coffee, they made breakfast. It was cute. But yeah, they're gonna be tired. Natchez, what's up? How are you? Yeah, the graphic. I didn't notice, like, with the new GPU. Let me see if I'm gonna wave my arm when it happens, because before sometimes it would like choke out a little bit. A little choking out, little stutter there. I gotta fix that. What do we got? Let's see if does this one line up. Maybe that's the kit. I think because all the audio pops up too. I gotta clean that up. I'm staying up all night, sleep 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. No, they're good boys. We had a good time. It went better than I thought it was gonna go. You know. That's the honest truth. We had a good time. There was no like. You know, like public, like, I swear to God, if you kick that seat one more time. Like, there wasn't any of that stuff. They were pretty good. They were decent humans. As they get older, they turn more into, like, semi-adults, you know? They're semi-normal people, you know? But it was cute. We had a good time. It really was fun. Let's see. I'm going to try this. 150, page 24. We'll see what happens. Haven't streamed drums in a while. Yeah, it's good to see you though. Oh, this cymbal, it's going to feel weird. This feels mushier. A little mushier. Man, sometimes I still have that problem with one, like just finding one. me I'm tapping out. My brain right now. 150. It's fast for these comps. Again, it's like feeling like 1 and 3. I'm just gonna do hands for a second. Let's just split it up. Let's do hands, quarter notes. Let's just try something. Chromatic. For jazz, generally, yeah, you play 2 and 4 on the hi hat. If it's just kind of helps you to keep the feel, I guess, for everyone. Oh, that might just be a little too much. Hold on, I gotta fine tune this. I know it's crazy. It shouldn't matter this much. It's just the cymbal height, but just to see. I'm curious. That's why I asked. Yeah, like for jazz, the standard jazz beat is the ride cymbal pattern. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. But you chick on 2 and 4, kind of like a snare on 2 and 4, a backbeat they call it in rock or pop. In jazz though, you play it on the hi hat. That 2 and 4, that right. So yeah, you don't have to, but it's kind of like genre specific. doing something. I'm gonna bring this closer just to see. I'll leave the mic there. I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm relying on rebound way too much, and it's not clean. The 1 and 3, if I start ending and it's not tight. Goober, what's up? Hi. Okay, hold on. Slow it down for a little bit. Woo, man. See, I'm getting in my head. Getting in my head, Dan. Don't do that. It's like sometimes you get into a practice or whatever and you're struggling, so you're like, oh, I got to move my gear around. That's what's going to make it better. It's not that. It's not that. Taking it back to 100 for a second. I want to just worry about the form. Again, this whole thing, part of it is like right? Like on beat 1, you're throwing down, rebound comes back, you catch it, flick it for 2, and then flick it back with your fingers for the and to 2, and then pull it back up for the second note. gonna try something a little bit over more. I love this, but I hate this so much. All right. So we're only at 100. This isn't fast, right? But it might be at the tempo that I need it to be. I'm just going to talk through what I'm thinking. This is for me purely being selfish right now. So if anyone has questions, please ask. But what I'm trying to do is my shoulder is completely dead. I'm trying to just like dead weight. And my fulcrum right now is around this finger. I shouldn't say just this finger, but it's essentially I'm pivoting around here and the thumb up here, right? So it's that flick back between these two, and the pointer is more of a just interjection, like to kind of keep balance, right? But the play is really this back finger and this thumb pushing down. So you got the downward motion with the thumb, right? And the pull back from the middle. So you got the down with the thumb and the pull back, right? So technically, this is the fulcrum right here, right? This pointer finger is the fulcrum, but there's no tension on that point. It's just a pivot spot. The actual force is coming from the thumb down, and then the middle finger pulling it back in as I'm coming up. Whoop. So as the years go on, I've really noticed, like, I used to like really push on the fulcrum, right? Apply pressure on the fulcrum when you're playing, right? It's like you're squeezing that grip. You're like, and then think of it like maybe certain tempos for years you might not even bridge a point to where that's going to be an issue, right? Because you're just like, As you get faster, though, you realize the fulcrum is integral into keeping the balance of that stick, but the fulcrum's only there to keep that space so the pressure can be applied to either sides of the fulcrum to control the stick, right? So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to relax my arm, dead weight, keep the pointer finger as the fulcrum, but the middle, I want to feel it. I want to feel the stick always on my middle, this goopy part of my hand, right? So the fulcrum's happening right here, but it's being pushed down by my thumb and then pulled back by my middle finger. So the fulcrum is just kind of like a spot in time that the stick is resting on. If I'm keeping my arm relaxed and I'm not moving it around. So that's the other thing why they say, like, don't move your arm, don't be all crazy, because your fulcrum is going to be shifting, right? That weight and that momentum every time is going to be in a different spot. Try to keep it relaxed. Keep the fulcrum just doing its thing, right? Like a moment in time, and just play around that. And try to feel the stick on your fingers. That's what I'm trying to do right now. It sounds weird, but at 100, it's a tempo where I can feel it and kind of maintain control while I'm playing other stuff. So it's very hard. Dan hooting. Hi, guys. We're fine tuning. It's tricky. I know we're going back and forth, back and forth. That was a big help. Just relaxing a little bit. We got up to, 160? And I was like, nope. Went back to 100. Now we're at 110. I know for a fact, Muscle, I really think my shoulder thing is doing this. My wife was bringing it up last night. She's like, well, you're doing something you've never done before. And you're probably like using muscles that you have never used before in a wrong way. So they're getting just agitated. So I'm trying to make sure as I lift, you guys could try this. If you do like that dead arm, right? Like do the Tyrannosaurus Rex thing. Your arm should just, like you should feel it pull right here, right? These muscles that are all connected to your chest and in the back. You just drop your arm, right? And then if you have a stick handy, hold the stick up. You should feel it just like, like even just doing that, it just feels like relief, like, you know? Tension builds up in certain spots, and I think this is a point where I'm just lifting up just a little bit, and I noticed it. If I just do that just a little bit, like lift it up, like just it's right here, and this is where my shoulders just killing me sometimes. So I really think that's what it is. I just got to really focus on making sure it's not creeping up. So just like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to sit up, just like relax. I might look like I'm falling asleep, but is that because your ride has moved up into orbit? No. I have a feeling if I raise it up more, I'd be doing this. If I go down, then I'm gonna be leaning into it. If I sit straight up, dead arm my hands, and then put my stick there, it's exactly where it needs to be, right? The great Michael Carvin said, you should be playing the cymbals, you should be playing the drum set like if you're reaching out to shake someone's hand, right? Hey, how's it going? It's just the whole process should be very relaxed, not like, not weird. So playing the cymbal, I'm just shaking the hand, and there's no tension. There shouldn't be anything going on. To find someone else to clean the guitar. Oh, the gutters. Yeah. Muscle, we clean like half of them, just enough to get the clog out. I still got to get up there. Still got to get back up. I wonder why I saw a lot of jazz drummers with their ride cymbal at the same level as their toms or lower, and that shoulder stuff is probably why. The ride cymbal at the same level as their toms, the shoulder stuff is probably why. What do you mean, Cal? I saw a lot of jazz drummers with their ride at the same level as their toms or lower. Lower than their toms? That's right, Dan. Happy Mom's Day. Your clock out. Your clavicle. Yeah. While your shoulder is resting instead of being raised up, causing that tension. Oh. I think it depends. I think a lot of, I don't know how to describe it. I've heard it said like your ride cymbal, like if you put your arm out, right? Technically where your right hand is when you're resting, like again, it's like you're shaking a hand to someone. It should be just here. You shouldn't have to be like, oh, like, hey, how's it going? What's up? Hey, how's it going? You should be able to reach out and just kind of like shake the hand of the cymbal. When it's low, you're playing down. That's not a bad thing, and maybe we'll do it a little later. You look at someone like, you see the counter of that is like someone like Benny Greb, right? Like just insane control. I don't know. I think it's like depends on what you're trying to play and how you play it. You know, like how you play the rebound. I don't think there's a right way, but for me right now, I just need to relax. This needs to be just chilling, not like this or even just a little kink at these high tempos. I think that's what's messing it up. And then I go and clean the gutters and it's like, and I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, a lot of the jazz drummers will, I don't know, like have it higher up, but then you look at someone like Buddy Rich, it's pretty low. So yeah, it's interesting. Forever changing, right? Let's try one. What are we at? 110. I mean, this isn't fast, but it feels fast when you're playing it the right way, right? With the dead arm. It's funny, Cal, you look at old drummers. I don't know if I can show you this over the thing. Seats, drum seats, back in the day, like were very small. Like, so the drummers were sitting a lot lower. Like if you look at like Tony Williams or whatever, like back with like Miles and stuff, it wasn't until like the 50s, like the late 50s, late 50s, where they started making those like drum thrones, which were like just big cylinders where you couldn't adjust. They were just like these massive things like Buddy Rich sat on and Louie and Gene. But back in the day, like the drum stools, like if you go look at vintage stools, they weren't like pneumatic and adjusting. They were like, it was a stool. So you sat, didn't matter how high you were. That was it. So a lot of the drummers, I feel like their stuff might look lower because they were sitting. If you look at their leg angles, you know, like if you look at Tony playing, like I said, any of the live stuff with Miles, his, you know, his legs are like down here, you know, there's no angle coming down. It's pretty much straight. So yeah, the stuff's going to be a lot lower. It's interesting to think about. And then you look at like Elvin playing with Coltrane and stuff. I mean, Elvin's a huge dude, and Tony's a small guy, right? So you got to think the size of the person. So Tony's smaller, sitting lower, and yeah, his stuff's going to be a lot tighter, a lot lower. But then you see someone like Elvin, and Elvin's like 6. How big was Elvin? Like 6'4" or something like that. It's a huge dude. And playing, his 18-inch cymbal looks like a splash cymbal when he's playing. And of course, he's like all out here because he's so big, you know. It's like the kits hadn't changed really yet in the early days. So he's trying to play on basically a toy drum set. So there's a lot going on there, you know. It's always been easier for me. I'm torn. I was never the person that sat real low, like Dave Grohl style. I like to sit up and play down. That could also be a bane. Like sometimes they say like you want to play up, you know, like so your shoulders are back and you're sitting back and not down and hunched over. I don't know. I try to find that medium where I can just sit straight up and do both if I need be. If I'm really just going for it and performing, not worrying about technique. Like I like being in that spot where I could do either or, not being forced to always play this way up or always play this way down. When you're sitting higher, yeah. So you're thinking, yeah, like 40s, 50s. You had big drum sets. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious about the stools. I really don't think any of them were adjustable, to my knowledge. All the ones that I've seen in drum shops, they're like these like tripod things. It was like, here you go, here's your stool. It's like piano benches, you know. They're not really, pianos don't adjust. It's like when you buy it, that's what it is. So we're spoiled, to put it lightly, nowadays. Let's try 120. It just makes you appreciate someone like Tony or Elvin or, you know, Max or Buddy, all those cats that could just like play so relaxed and fast and control something else. That's the true epitome of balance. It's wild. Thank you. 5 months. Yep. It's slow and steady, right? I'm noticing I'm my when I bring in that like 1, 2, 3, right? It's so not locked in with the ride, right? It's like either behind or ahead or just it's just wonky. It's not steady. Hooting, it's crazy, right? When you realize like, oh man, it comes back quick, right? It comes back quick. It is like riding a bike, but new stuff becomes trickier. Finding tuning where this is bugging me. It's like right here. I feel like it's a button I could just push on, and it's just like, oh, you know, I feel it. Like I just know exactly the root of the problem, and I'm working through it. I'm feeling good. take a quick break. Would you learn something that grooves your brain pretty much stay there? Something? Yeah, it's hard. It's not natural. Watching you practice encourages. Oh, let's go. Or practice pad. Yes. Breakfast and dog walks done. Now I just gotta tackle the laundry. Oh man, we're mid laundry right now. Yeah, I started laundry at like 7 this morning. Stretchy stretch. It's funny. My wife is actually at a birthday party probably right now with our middle son. They were going to church. The kids were getting home. Middle boy had a birthday party on Mother's Day. It was kind of weird, but I get it, right? You can only have a birthday party when you can have a birthday party. So some kid's having his birthday party today. My middle son is at that. And the other two are upstairs, hopefully watching a movie or chilling, taking a nap, playing a video game or something. I should probably get going and just make sure there's no fires. And then we're going up to my mom's later today for Mother's Day up there. I got to find a good stretch that I can do to that's it. I got to find a good thing I could just I feel good though, guys. We're getting there all week, this coming week. Oof, that feels good. Watch Dan Stretch stream. Dan Stretch Stone. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to just have the, I guess, ability to work on this stuff. It's a lot, and I'm very excited about it. Don't take it for granted. So we're gonna get it though. We're getting there. A week ago, I couldn't do this, any of these. It was like instant, just choke. So we're getting there. We're making progress. I'm at 120 now. I feel like I'm talking through this just because it helps me just process everything. My pull's back on 1 and 3, right? That 1 and 2, right? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. So that pull to 1 and pull to 3. I gotta strengthen that. So we might do some accents where they're Vader Super Jazz. I think they're basically 5/8. Maybe a little weirder taper and a more oval tip, but yeah, they're Vader Super Jazz's Super Jazz. But everyone have an amazing Sunday. Woo, take the ears out. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. That's the plan. My ears are pretty clean. There's no goopy weird stuff. Probably tomorrow and Tuesday. I'll probably take Wednesday off like usual. Wednesday night. But Austin, Hooting, everyone, thank you guys for hanging out. I feel good. I'm going to stretch a little bit. I'm going to go up and do maybe some lifting or just a little bit of this strengthening and limbering up these muscles up here. I really think my wife is right. I think I'm using muscles I've never used before in drumming. I know that sounds weird, but it's a completely different muscle group, I think. And part of it's ow, but also hey, this is being worked in a way it shouldn't be being worked. I shouldn't be using these muscles, but I am. So I got to strengthen them or loosen them or do something, But muscle you too. Happy Mother's Day to all the merms. All the merms. Cheers. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you.